Back here in the tri-state tonight, dozens of World War II veterans were honored and celebrated for their service. And tonight, 4 planes that flew during the war flew once again in honor of the greatest generation. Brad Underwood was there.
The B-25 Mitchell bomber, one of the premier bomber planes used in World War II, flies again over hundreds of people, honoring the men who fought and flew in World War II.
And then they sent us to fly B-25s. And we went overseas and we were following bombing the British 8th Army with B-25s.
Russell Whitty has piloted about every aircraft that flew during World War II. The 97-year-old Western Hills graduate even spent time in North Africa before the Second World War. Whitty's son Jim says his dad was supposed to return home after 25 missions. However, it wasn't until after 50 combat missions that Whitty came back.
He was attached to the British 8th Army. They went back and forth across North Africa chasing Rommel and defeating him, and then they proceeded to bomb Sicily and Italy in preparation for the invasion of Italy.
For 9 years, this party has grown.
We've got about 50 World War II veterans with their guests here, and it's just great to be able to honor them and thank them for their service.
Paul Redlick helps run the museum, but he also pilots the Cincinnati Miss, a P-51 Mustang fighter plane, as well as the B-25 bomber. Watching the formations, Whitty remembers some of his moves.
And we were flying all over the sky because they were shooting at us. And you didn't like to fly in a straight line, except you had to when you were on your bomb run.
Now this year, the Tri-State Warbirds Museum at the Clermont County Airport is celebrating its 10th year of not only restoring aircrafts from the World War II era, but also educating students about the war and our country's history. And Rob, right now they're in the process of restoring a 1941 German FW-190 fighter plane. Reporting live tonight in Batavia, Brad Underwood, Local 12 News. Rob.
Fascinating story, Brad. Also, it's interesting that these veterans have held these stories so dear for so many years, and in their elder years they're beginning to tell the stories. Thank goodness they are. I bet you heard some interesting things tonight.
I did, Rob, and you know, one thing that we heard a lot, you know, a lot of men who served in World War II, you know, don't like to talk about it necessarily, but when you get together in these types of events, those stories start to get shared a little more frequently.
Yeah, it's a living history book. Thank you very much, Brad, for the story.
They truly were.